Good morning, boys and girls, and thank you for joining with me today as we seek to learn something about and grow together in our faith as we learn about Jesus and about God's presence in our lives. You are of a variety of ages and different experiences. I wonder if you've ever wanted to be something else. Or someone else, maybe I should say. When I was young and growing up at home in London, I always wanted to be, well, for several years, I wanted to be just like Richard around the corner from me. He was big and he was strong and he was smart and he was everything. And I wanted to be like him. And then I wanted to be just like Dave, just a few houses away from where I grew up. Dave was a super strong hockey player. He ended up joining the NHL. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool to be just like Dave? And I grew up, and I was me, and I am me. And then as I'm serving in the church in a different place, someone once said to me, why can't you be more like Kirk? And I thought, wow, he's an amazing guy. He's a wondrous pastor. Why can't I be more like Kirk? And then my wife reminded me who I was. I'm Mark. Nobody else. I'm Mark. As the psalmist tells us all the time, a beloved child of God. So I don't know if you've ever wished that you were like somebody else or not. But it happens to us sometimes. And you know, it reminds me of a little story about a brown bunny. Brown bunny was very sad because it thought that its brown color was very drab. And it felt so lonely in its brownness. And as it hopped along the ground, it spotted an orange squirrel and it thought to itself, if only I could be orange like that squirrel. It's such a beautiful color. As he watched the orange squirrel scamper up the tree, and the squirrel said to the rabbit, yes, I like being orange as I climb in the trees and my fur matches the color of the leaves. Well, as the rabbit watched the squirrel go up the tree, he saw a beautiful blue bird flying in the sky, and the rabbit thought to himself, oh my, if only I could have blue fur and be like that bird, and blue as it flies against the sky, it's so beautiful. I would be so special. And the bird heard as the bird flew down and said, yes, I like my blue feathers too because it matches the sky as I fly through it. And the blue bird flew down to a pond, and the bunny followed the bird down towards the pond. And as the bird took a drink from the pond, the brown bunny saw a beautifully green little turtle on a lily pad and said, oh, if only I could be as such a beautiful green color as that turtle sitting there on the lily pad on the pond. And the turtle heard the bunny and said, yes, I like my green color too, as I'm hanging out here in the pond. And just then, they all heard some shots fired. It was hunting season. And it was too late. They were very near. It was too late for the rabbit to go anywhere, so he stood very still in the ground. And the hunters passed right by. They didn't even see the rabbit, and therefore they didn't try to shoot the rabbit. Oh, the rabbit thought to itself, boy, I guess I should be glad that I'm brown. And the squirrel said, yes, indeed, give thanks that you are brown to match the ground that you run around on. Just like I'm glad that I'm orange and match the leaves of the trees in the fall season. Yes, said the bluebird, be glad that you are brown just like the ground you're on. Just like I'm glad that I'm blue, like the sky that I fly through. And the turtle said, yes, be glad that you are brown, just like the ground you run around on. Like I'm glad that I'm green, just the same as the lily pads here in this pond. the brown rabbit went home, happy that he was brown, that he was himself. Peace be with you.